guys, so I want to take this video to talk about the pros and cons of publishing audiobooks, especially in comparison with other business models like Kindle publishing or selling on Amazon or anything else. So let's go ahead and talk about the pros. The pros are, this is not a saturated marketplace yet. There are very few people that are publishing audiobooks, and that is their primary focus in making income. You know, there are millions of people trying to make money with Amazon FBA or drop shipping or things like that. Audiobooks, if people are doing it at all, it's an afterthought. So that means it's really wide open for people like you and me. It's really a land grab, if you will. You know, it's like immigrating to the United States from Europe in the 1800s, and you could just pick any plot of land that you wanted. So that's what publishing audiobooks is like right now, today. So I highly recommend you get into it. Another pro about publishing audiobooks is the cost. Now, you might be entrepreneurial, but you might not have a lot of money to invest. You might not have tens of thousands of dollars to start a traditional business. I know when I first started selling on Amazon as a private label seller, my first order was $10,000. And now when I order, I still order about $50,000 or $60,000 of inventory every time. But to get started publishing audiobooks, you really only need $500 or $1,000. It'll cost you maybe $500 to have a book written and maybe another $500 or $600 to have it narrated. And if you're really broke, you could do it yourself. If you're a writing type person, you could write the book yourself. And if you have a good voice and you're a little bit tech savvy, you could download free programs and have the book narrated yourself. So you could actually get a book live on Audible for $0. Now, how many business models can you say that about? Another one of my pros about this business model is the perceived value of audio. I feel like there's a lot of perceived value in audiobooks. People really understand the value in audio, especially when you compare it to Kindle books. Kindle books have become notoriously low priced. People only sell them for 99 cents or $2.99 at max. People are still willing, from my experience, to pay $19.99 for an audiobook, or $24.99 or $29.99. So there's a lot of people who recognize that audiobooks are worth more. The audio is just convenient, and people realize that it takes more production effort, so they're willing to pay more for it. I heard somewhere at some conference or something, Gary Vaynerchuk say that if he could go back, he would name his company Vayner Voice because of the trends of things like Alexa and the upward trend in voice stuff. Well, so if he sees the perceived value in audio, how much more so should you and I? And my last pro about this business model, and perhaps my number one pro, is that it's a digital product, meaning you can sell it over and over and over again. I have one audiobook that I published in 2014 that is still making me passive income. I haven't done anything to that particular book since then. Now, passive income is a word that gets thrown around a lot of times. It's overused, and really there's very few truly passive ways to make money. Most ways actually require at least a little bit of effort. You know, maybe a dividend paying stock is a truly passive income. But I'm telling you, this book that I've had since 2014 is 100% passive. I spent about 2 weeks in about 2014 publishing it myself, and I haven't touched it since then. And that book has made me about $5,000 over its lifespan. That was my very first book. So obviously $5,000 wasn't, over 5 years is nothing to write home about, but combine that with all my other books that have done much better. And that was my first stab in the dark when I didn't know what I was doing. So that's really powerful about audiobooks. It's digital and it's passive. So you compare that with something like e-commerce. You always have to find a new product in retail arbitrage, or you always have to find a new product on online arbitrage. Or even if you have your own brand of products, you need to keep reordering inventory. You need to keep shipping out inventory. Not with audiobooks. Customer just downloads it off audible.com, and you can just keep reselling the same book over and over. So how cool is that? So let's talk about some possible cons now for this business model. Some cons for this business model are there are not a lot of tools and resources to learn about it. Now, fortunately, you found my channel, so I'm going to teach you about that. But I actually view this as a positive thing, because when all the tools come out, everybody's going to start doing it, right? When the Jungle Scouts, the Keepas, the viral launches, when all big name companies start making tools for how to publish audiobooks, everybody's going to be doing it, and there's going to be tons of competition. So right now, it's not like that at all. You kind of have to figure it out yourself or go along. And I view that as positive. It means it's a lot less competitive. If you've ever sold anything on Amazon, you know how sharky that can be and how people will just crush you if they have more money than you do. So there's really no sharks like that on Audible right now. So that's a big positive for me. Another possible con, but it depends how you look at it, is that the production time. It can take, honestly, 2 or 3 months to get an audiobook produced. It can take about a month to have it written, to have a native English speaker write a 30,000 to 50,000 word book. It can take about another month to have it narrated, sometimes faster, but about a month is pretty standard for a good sized book. And then after that, it has to go through the quality assurance process of Audible, Amazon, and iTunes. Now they say that that's 10 to 14 business days, but in my experience that can be much longer. I've had some of my books take up to a month to go live on Audible and iTunes and Amazon. So that's a long time. So that's 3 months before you're seeing any money at all or any sales. But I view that as a positive because it's going to chase off people who are interested in getting rich quick. So you can't make a quick buck in this. You have to invest time. So it's really only going to filter out the most dedicated entrepreneurs. There's a higher barrier to entry. So for me, that's actually a positive thing. If you get started now, in 3 months, you can have sales and just keep that pipeline of books full. It's not a get rich quick scheme like cryptocurrency, but for me, that's awesome. I'm not interested in getting rich quick. I'm interested in having real businesses that are primarily mostly passive. So those are the pros and cons about publishing audiobooks. As you can see, I'm a big fan of this way of making money and I highly recommend it. So see you in the next video.